There's no excuse. And I want to say this, I'm saying this right now, directly to these fourth graders in Mackenzie Adams' class that were teasing her. You little shits are murderers. I don't care if you're 10 years old. I don't care if you're only in fourth grade. You are murderers. Hey guys, welcome back. I stumbled across an article on my Facebook wall last week, and I have not been able to get this story out of my mind. It breaks my heart and it makes me furious all at the same time. Let me read you just part of this headline. Bullied black Alabama girl, 9, commits suicide after classmates taunted her for having a white friend and told her to, quote, kill yourself. A 9-year-old girl has committed suicide after being bullied by her fourth grade classmates. Fourth grade. Mackenzie Adams was found by her grandmother in her Linden, Alabama home after she hanged herself, the Tuscaloosa News reported. Family members say she had been harassed since the beginning of the school year. Family members say Mackenzie had transferred to U.S. Jones Elementary School in Demopolis, Alabama, because she had been bullied at her school in Linden. I hate bullying with the undying passion of 1,000 suns. There is no excuse for bullying. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I was bullied for probably at least 10 years straight in school, and it has had profound effects on my life that I am still dealing with getting rid of today. So I have the utmost sympathy for kids who are bullied, and this story look at this little girl. Look how beautiful she is. Mackenzie's mother, Jasmine Adams, told CBS 42 that much of the bullying came from her friendship with a white boy and how his family would drive her to school. Quote, "She told me that this one particular child was writing her nasty notes in class," Mackenzie's mother said. Quote, "It was just things you wouldn't think a 9-year-old should know. Part of it could have been because she rode to school with a white family," she continued, "and a lot of it was race. Some of the student bullies would say to her, 'Why are you riding with white people? You're black. You're ugly. You should just die.'" Really? This level of barbarity, this is 2018. The fact that there are still people out there, children out there. This girl was bullied because for no other reason than her friend had less melanin in his skin than she does. I cannot imagine the horror and the heartbreak and the grief. Can you imagine being this little girl's grandmother and walking into your bathroom and finding your precious little granddaughter hanging? Let's see. Mackenzie's mother and grandmother said that they complained to the State Board of Education about the cruel taunts the little girl was forced to endure at U.S. Jones Elementary School, much of which they said centered around her friendship with a boy. Quote, "She was being bullied the entire school year with words such as, 'Kill yourself. You think you're white because you ride with that white boy. You ugly. Black bitch. Just die,' her aunt, Edwina Harris, said." Here's another piece. "On that Monday night, Mackenzie, a bright student who dreamed of being a scientist, did her homework as she usually did and then excused herself to the bathroom," Harris told People. Her grandmother noticed that she had been gone longer than usual and went to go find her, only to find the bathroom door locked. Harris says that Mackenzie's grandmother got a butter knife and managed to unlock the door and found the little girl. Mackenzie's grandmother managed to call 911 and respondents performed CPR. However, Mackenzie ultimately died at Brian W. Whitfield Memorial Hospital. I have been trying so hard to wrap my brain around this, and at 9 years old, a 9-year-old girl, the most pressing thing she should have to worry about is her spelling test the next day and how to untangle her Barbie's hair. And I can't imagine. There was another point in one of these articles where it quoted her mother as saying, "My world is gone." For being friends with a white boy? And even if there was more to it than that, even if there were other things she was being bullied for, there's still no excuse. There is absolutely no excuse for treating another person that way. I don't care how different they are than you. I don't care if you can't stand them. I don't care if it has to do with skin color, sexual orientation, whether they're transgender or not, whether they're fat, skinny, have a lot of pimp. There's no excuse. And I want to say this. I'm saying this right now directly to these fourth graders in Mackenzie Adams' class that were teasing her. You little shits are murderers. I don't care if you're 10 years old. I don't care if you're only in fourth grade. You are murderers. Yes, she took it upon herself. She is the one that physically hung herself. But she would not have been driven to that point had you not pushed her. You little shits are killers. And the mama bear in me and the past victim of past bullying in me wants to see these kids arrested and brought up on charges, because this infuriates me so much. The libertarian in me sees bringing people up on charges and convicting them of crimes because of things they say. That's an extremely dangerous, slippery slope that we really don't want to go down as a society. But I can't wrap my... This is so evil. This is evil. There is no other way to describe this. And aside from how Mackenzie's mother and grandmother and aunts and uncles and other people in her family must be feeling, which I want to say I can't imagine it, but I can imagine it. I've had very close family members struggle with being suicidal, and I can imagine the pain of losing a child to suicide. I have children. Everyone who has children can imagine what it's like. We just don't want to. We shut our minds off to that possibility because it's too painful to think about. And that's going to be this woman's daily reality for the rest of her life. Knowing that these other little bastards were upset over who this girl's friend was. But also imagine how the little boy and his family who were giving her rides to school feel. Imagine you having to realize that... I can imagine that this little boy, he's fourth grade. He probably feels extremely guilty, even though he's not at fault in any way. But I'm sure in his little child's mind, he thinks, wow, people were mean to her because she was friends with me. If only she hadn't been friends with me, maybe she'd still be alive. They did nothing wrong. This family did nothing wrong. All they did was befriend this little girl. And evil, twisted people just... Ugh! I'm so angry. And I've been stewing all week on, okay, yeah, that's fine. You'll be angry, but what are we going to do about it? What can we do about it? And for a while I thought, I don't know. Bullying, it's a sad reality, but as long as there are people on this earth, bullying is going to continue because people are horrible and people suck. I would like to say one thing to teachers. Now, I'm giving this family the benefit of the doubt. Because of struggles that I've had dealing with school administrators and my children being bullied, I'm giving the Adams family the benefit of the doubt that they did indeed go to the school administration and the school board and whoever and say, look, this is a problem. I would think that once she transferred from her first elementary school in Linden to this other one, I would think that part of the conversation around that transfer involved why she was moving schools. So I have to believe that the administration was at least somewhat aware of the things that were going on. And there's quotes from the school's lawyers in these articles. I'll link all the articles, both the articles that I got that I read from, and also a video. I'll link it down in the description box below. But of course, the lawyer from the school district is making statements, and I see this as they're circling the wagons. I see this as, oh shit, we didn't take this actually seriously enough. We didn't think there'd be any real consequences. Kids will be kids. And now they're, like I said, they're circling the wagons. It's all about CYA. And I also recognize that I'm probably biased in seeing it that way, but I've seen it personally with my own eyes. I've seen how administration wants to downplay and brush aside and, oh, it's okay. Oh, it's not that big a deal. Oh, whatever. And I've thankfully had experiences on either end of the spectrum. The elementary school my kids went to was terrible about dealing with bullying. The middle school they went to, however, they came down on kids like white on rice when bullying was uncovered. And thank God. But I want to talk specifically to teachers right now. You guys, teachers, you guys are on the front lines of a lot of this stuff. And I know you can't be everywhere. You can't see everything. But there are a lot of things you can pick up on. There are a lot of signs of bullying that would be evident to you if you keep your eyes and ears open. Pay attention to body language, facial expression, things like that. You can see, even if you can't hear what's going on, you can see on the playground when kids are harassing other kids. You can tell something shady's going down. Take notice of those things. Pay special attention. If there's a kid in your class that you know is having problems, that is struggling with depression, that doesn't have many friends, pay extra attention to them. Make an effort to look around your class when the kids think you aren't looking. You have an opportunity to be their advocate. You have an opportunity to be the person to stand up for these kids and validate their experiences when they are too powerless and small and weak and scared to do it themselves. You can see, if you keep your eyes open, you can see on the playground when a kid pushes another kid down. You can tell when kids are laughing at a child instead of laughing with them. So please, please, I know you're overworked, I know you're stressed, but please put forth the effort to just pay a little extra attention. Bullying thrives in the shadows. It thrives in secret, it thrives in silence, it thrives in the hope that no one will see what's going on. And listen to kids when they tell you that they're being bullied. Administrators, listen to children. Don't blow them off. Make an effort to get to the bottom of what's going on. You see these kids all day. Please, please pay attention. And to parents, I want to say to parents, let me qualify that. Halfway decent parents who don't fill their children's heads with garbage like notions that other children are less than they are. good, decent parents who strive to raise good, decent kids. First of all, don't assume that just because you birthed little Johnny or Susie from your loins, that little Johnny or Susie is an absolute perfect angelic being who would never, ever, ever do or say anything mean to another child. Recognize that your child has just as much potential to be cruel to someone as anybody else. If you're confronted with a statement or with evidence that your child is bullying another child, don't immediately blow it off. Ask for evidence, ask for proof, ask your child. You can tell when your kid's lying to you. I mean, unless your kid's a straight up sociopath, in which case you have bigger problems. But in general, if you're halfway aware, you can tell when your kid's lying. Don't deny that they're lying. Listen to the evidence. And if it is revealed that, yes, your kid is doing this bullying, especially if there's concrete proof, you need to come down hard on your kid. The same with teachers. If you see bullying in your classroom, you need to come down hard and fast on these kids right away, right now. These kids need to learn immediately that this kind of stuff is not tolerated, that you cannot grow up and become an adult who thinks it's okay to bully people to get their way, because it's only going to get worse. If it's not nipped in the bud when they are very young, when it first starts to appear, it's only going to get worse. And teachers and parents, it's your responsibility primarily to do this. You have so much power to influence how good or bad children's experiences growing up are. I have a piece of advice for students who are being bullied. A lot of the times the problem, especially in school, is it happens when no one else is around. No one sees it, no one hears it, so it's all hearsay. And it's easier a lot of times for school administrators to say, oh, well, it's just he said, she said, so I just want to push it over here and not deal with it because I've got to go to this meeting and I've got all this funding issues and I've got all this other crap. So whatever. In 2018, I'm assuming most all of you have a cell phone. If there are situations that you're going to be walking into, say a particular class or recess or whatever, where you know that there's going to be some bullying go down, and as far as you can, I know some teachers collect cell phones and put them at the front of the room, but still, while you can, if you know you're going to be walking into a situation like that, download an app or use a feature on your phone, whatever, record. Just when you walk into that classroom, when you walk onto that playground, whatever. Say, for example, there's a kid in your math class who is bullying you, who's telling you bullshit like, oh, you should just kill yourself, or you're stupid, or you're whatever. And you know it's coming, and you dread going to this class every day. Before you walk in that classroom, push record on that app or whatever it is on your particular phone that records audio. Push record and just let it go. Let it play. And one of these days you might actually be able to catch that kid saying something. You might be able to catch it recorded so that you actually have something to play for administrators when you say, no, this kid is telling me I need to go kill myself. Listen. Record, and if you're being cyberbullied, take screenshots of everything. Save every voicemail, screenshot everything, every post on your wall, every direct message, every text message, every comment on something that you post, everything, save it. Because I guarantee you, bullies don't want to be caught. They may type something out or send you a message and then they'll try to delete it. Save everything. Record everything you can. And beyond that, it occurred to me, well, what else can be done about bullying? And I think, speaking from a society-wide standpoint, I think especially in America, which is where I live, I can't speak to other countries because obviously I don't know what life is like there, but I think in Western society in general, and particularly in America, we have lost our sense of shame. And I'm not talking about toxic shame. I mean legitimate, genuine, beneficial shame. I'm not talking about the kind of shame that says, oh, I put on 5 pounds over Christmas, I'm a disgusting, horrible human being. No. I'm talking about the kind of shame that everyone should feel when they do something bad, when they do something to hurt another person. If you deliberately do something mean and cruel and hurtful to another person, you should feel shame. You definitely should. And I think as a culture, I think that we should enforce that. I think we should make people feel ashamed when they do something that they should be ashamed of. I think if we could agree, if kids, like say, take a typical 4th grade classroom, if there's a kid that's bullying another kid, say for being fat, for whatever, for being overweight, I think if as a culture, as a classroom, if the other kids shamed that bully, made them feel ashamed for their actions, stopped talking to the kid, stopped wanting to play with the kid, told the kid, hey, you're acting like a jerk, stop it. I think if we brought back this notion that, yes, there are certain things in society you should feel ashamed of, that might go a long way to, and I don't know, maybe I'm being naive. I think we can all agree that something that would, say, drive a beautiful, innocent 9-year-old girl to hang herself, I think that actions that were taken towards her that led up to that kind of behavior, that is shameful. Those are shameful actions. And if we don't want to go down the slippery slope of charging people with crimes for things that they say, which is a bad idea, there has to be some sort of culturally enforced sense of shame. And I don't think we should necessarily go overboard, like to the extent that many other cultures in the world do, where people are hanging themselves and jumping out of windows because they lose their job. But, there's a balance. My heart breaks for this family, for this poor little girl. She had such a bright future ahead of her. And because people just can't stand anybody who's in the slightest way different, I don't know. I really want to see something happen to these kids. But I don't know how that would come about. I don't know. I can't imagine this mother and grandmother's pain. I can't. Here we go again. I can't imagine it. Yes, I can. I don't want to. I don't want to imagine it. They've started up a GoFundMe and they're trying to raise awareness about the problems of bullying. The information is listed in the article that I'll link down below. If you want to contribute, I encourage you to go ahead. That would be great. Anything that helps to try to stop this toxic bullshit. We have to stop this while these kids are young. We have to stop this bullshit while they're still impressionable. We have to let our kids know that this kind of shit does not fly. This is not the way civilized people behave towards each other. So, anyway, I also want to include this number here. This is the Suicide Prevention Hotline. If you're struggling with suicidal thoughts, if you're being bullied, please, please, please reach out. Please don't stop reaching out. Scream it. Stand in your front yard and scream it if you have to until someone pays attention to you. You are made in God's image, just like everyone else is. And you are worth it. You are worth defending. You are worth staying alive. Your life is worth something. You were put on this earth for a purpose. And it's not to be some little shithead's punching bag. So please call this number if you're having trouble, if you're having thoughts of suicide. Please don't give up. Please don't let the bastards win. Anyway, I had to rant about this a little bit. Bullies disgust me, and there's no place for them. There shouldn't be any place for them in any society. If you are being bullied, I want you to know, if you have kids that are being bullied, I want you to know that my prayers go out to you. I'm with you in here. I dealt with it too. A lot of times I've said to people, I think the only reason why I'm still here is because I am one stubborn bitch. And I didn't want to let them win. I wanted just the fact that I was still existing to be a big to the bullies. So I will be praying for you, praying for your kids, your friends, anyone you know who's being bullied. And if any of you guys, I don't know, am I off base? Am I missing something? If any of you guys have any suggestions, better suggestions than mine, or you want to expand on anything I said, please comment below. Are there any better ways that we as a society can get rid of bullying? Are there any better ways that we can protect our kids from this? That we can teach our kids growing up from an early age not to treat other people poorly like this? I welcome any and all of your comments and suggestions. This is an issue that it's cross-cultural, it's cross-racial, it's across all different lines. So anything anybody has to say is a valuable piece of this conversation. So anyway, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Thanks for listening to this rambling, babbling rant, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.